Joining me now is San Jose State political science professor Donna Crane. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you. How will this impact women in California and other pro-choice rights states?
Well, in a couple of ways. So the anti-abortion forces have been very strategic in telling people that if you withdraw the Roe v. Wade protection nationally, that quote unquote just returns the issue to the states. And that is not true. So it is true that in some states, they'll ban abortion immediately. But without the protection of Roe v. Wade, the federal government can get in on this act as well. So we could see restrictions coming from a Congress, especially if the GOP takes over Congress in the fall, or from a hostile administration in the future, not the Biden administration, but if Donald Trump were still in office, his executive branch would be likely imposing nationwide executive branch restrictions on abortion. And California and other pro-choice states are not exempt from laws that Congress passes. We are a part of the United States, of course. So there will be no corner of the country, in my opinion, that will be left untouched by today's action.
And we've kind of been in limbo the past several weeks. Was the Supreme Court ruling surprising to you?
It was not. It has always been my personal theory, with no evidence whatsoever, but my best guess, that this opinion was leaked by someone on the conservative anti-abortion side with the intention of holding John Roberts firmly in place. So once I saw that leaked and I thought about who would have an interest in doing so, I thought, they probably got the 5 votes they need.
And can you discuss the history behind Justice Alito's career-long plan to end legal abortion?
Well, this is a very little known story, and it's really important and instructive. So in 1973, when the Supreme Court handed down its decision in Roe v. Wade, after a few years, the anti-abortion forces got themselves organized and gathered, and they started to talk about how to reverse that decision. And what they decided was that they didn't have the justices they needed on the court to get a reversed ruling that they wanted. The Roe v. Wade was 7-2. So what they decided instead is they settled on a very patient, long-term strategy, 30 years or more. Because what you have to do is you have to wait for justices to retire or to pass away so that you can appoint new justices who believe the way you do. And so what they did is they focused on electing presidents who would appoint anti-abortion justices and senators who would confirm them. And that takes years and years and years. And there is, in fact, a really interesting memo laying out this strategy written by a young lawyer back in the 1980s named Sam Alito, who is now, of course, Justice Alito, and just authored the opinion that accomplishes what they set out back in the 1980s.
As you put it, that is a very long strategy there for sure. What would you say was the driving force behind the ruling?
Oh, I think it's purely a result of that strategy. I think the anti-abortion side has been very successful and strategic in electoral work, in electing presidents and senators, and then also laying the groundwork legally for these kinds of decisions. So you see, for example, in Justice Alito's opinion, that he has to separate legal abortion from the other issues around the right to privacy because he doesn't want to worry people that perhaps same-sex marriage or the right to contraception might be at risk. This is all a result of sort of careful plodding sometimes, but very patient legal work that's come from the other side, which has been very disciplined and very organized. And in contrast, I would say, to the pro-choice side, which has not been as disciplined or organized.
All right, Donna Crane with San Jose State. Thank you so much for your time this morning.